Hello guys, welcome to my channel. So I'm back here with one more video, and this video is all about Nagarro, and here I'm going to explain each and every bit of the interview process that a software developer doesn't matter what kind of experience he or she has. It is all going to be about an interviewee who is going to be interviewed at Nagarro, and we are going to cover what kind of questions and how many rounds and stuff like that we are going to cover in this video. So if you are new to this channel, if you haven't subscribed to this channel, please do. There is an easy and quick step that you just have to hit that red colored subscribe button, and that is all. That is all that you have to do. Now let's see what we have in this video. Alright, so these are the experiences that I'm going to cover in this interview video. So as you can see, there are 4 blocks here. So 2 blocks are specifically for the freshers. One is for 1 to 3 years experienced, and the other one is 3 to 5 years experienced. So I have given a Nagarro interview twice, and I have went through each and every step twice already. So I know a pattern here, but I didn't went through the interviews when I was a fresher or when I was 1 to 3 years experienced guy. So I went through the interviews at Nagarro at this experience, right? But I did collect a lot of information, whatever I could I did, and this is what I have came up with. So if you are a fresher, there can be 2 positions available at Nagarro. One could be intern and another one could be associate software engineer or software developer, right? So here we are going to cover 2 separate profiles because they can be there can be separate processes of interviews for these 2 specific profiles, right? So now let's see what we have and how many rounds we have for each profile. Alright, so here you can see that I have 4 profiles, and these are going to be the only rounds at Nagarro, none more than that. So as of now, this is the pattern. They usually change it a lot, but it usually changes on the terms of online process, not on the face-to-face processes, right? So here you can see that for a software developer or an associate software engineer, being both of them as a fresher or maybe 0 to 1 year experienced person, there are going to be only 4 rounds. One is going to be aptitude round, which can also be known as IQ test. Another one is going to be a coding round. Here they are going to see all about your programming, which can be competitive programming or maybe DP, but I have seen that there are only simple questions like string reverse or something like that. Right, so for technical interview, this is going to be face-to-face discussion with another interviewee. So depending on the person, they ask like a range of questions, right? There is no technical round 2 for these 2 freshers or 0 to 1 experienced profile. But for HR interview, everything is going to be same throughout each profile. So I'm going to cover HR interview in the later part of this video. But for now, you can see that for 1 to 3 years experienced and 3 to 5 years experienced, we have round 2 for technical, right? So there are going to be 2 technical rounds. And from my experience, I have seen that there can be 2 online tests or 3. Previously, they used to have 3 coding like online test. Now they only have 2. So that's why I have written 2, because we are making this video in 2022, right? So now let's see what we have in each interview round. Alright, so for aptitude round, it is going to be rather simple. We all have gone through this test once in a while. So it is going to cover quantitative aptitude, which is going to be your basic maths, English grammar, which can be like simple, which we have seen in test like maybe if you have gone through CAT or something like that, you know about this. And for technical questions, there can be or cannot be. It totally depends on which organization they have consulted to conduct this online test. So depending on that organization, what kind of package they take on, depending on that, it can have only 2 sections or all these 3. So in my previous experiences, I had two separate online tests, where in one I went through these two sections, and in the other one technical questions, right? So it is going to have max these three sections, none other than these. So let me be brief about each section. So quantitative aptitude can contain questions like stream, train, work, and some basic computation stuff like maybe permutation, combination, and simple XYZ equation kind of questions, right? It is not going to be as difficult, but the only problem is time. So you have to solve the section in like 10-15 minutes, and there are going to be 50 questions, right? So difficulty is going to be easy, and there are going to be no negative marking, so that is a good point there, right? For English grammar, there are going to be questions like synonyms basically, and maybe like questions like which is syntax, like a grammatically correct sentence, or maybe a paragraph question. I don't remember it exactly, but there are videos on my channel where you can see the exact IQ test where I have went through these two sections, right? For technical questions, it is going to be like objective questions for let's say Java, maybe some SQL, microservices, like it totally depends on the organization from where they have taken on the package, and what they actually contain can be changed from now or maybe in few months, right? But it is going to contain roughly these three sections. Moving on to coding round. So this is going to be your second online test. So here it is going to contain 3 coding questions, right? From my experiences, it had only 3 coding questions, so max 3 coding questions, not more than that. So one is going to be easy out of 3. The rest of them are going to be medium difficulty level. So the cutoff that I can guess right now is 2 out of 3, and it's not necessarily that you have to completely pass on all the test cases of these 2 solutions, right? So let's say if you complete all the test cases of any one question, so for the second one you can complete let's say 50% of the test cases, and then you are going to get qualified, right? So it is not necessarily a 2 out of 3, rather you can say 1.5 out of 3. So time is going to be a constraint there, but if you have experience on HackerRank or LeetCode, you are not going to see any kind of difficulty here, right? Again, there is one video on my channel where you can see this coding test. Then there can be a third coding round also, depending on your experience level, or maybe if they have this new thing enabled where they actually want to see if you are maybe worthy. So I don't know why they change this pattern so often. It's rather confusing actually, because you don't know what to expect. But from my experiences, or from whatever I have gathered like through research, I can only say like there are going to be only 2 online tests, right? Alright, so now let's talk about technical round 1. So in this topic, it is rather going to be depending on your experience level first, right? So for freshers, it is going to be at easy level. So they are going to ask questions on string based, collection questions, and somewhere system design. So let me tell you in brief like what they will ask in each section. So for string based question, they are simply going to ask what is a string class, in which package, why is it immutable, what is an immutable class, and how you can create. I think they will not ask you how you will create an immutable class, but maybe they will. So you need to know a bit about every section here. Then based on collection, you need to know about any one. So I think there are some popular collections for every interviewer, so they can ask about hash set, concurrent, hash set. They are not going to ask on concurrent hash set, because maybe they are not expecting a fresher or 0 to like a fresher to have multi-threaded environment experience, right? So even if you are not able to tell them, that's good, that's okay. But you need to know about collections, like when to use collections, and like at which area you should use which collection. About system design, they are not going to ask you to design anything. They are just going to ask you, let's say if I were to ask you that design me how, like which data structure will you use, if I were to say that design a chat application, so which data structure is going to be used there. So you can pretty much say any data structure that you like, but you need to have a strong background of why you are saying that this data structure is going to be a viable choice, right? So it is going to be all theoretical and completely one-to-one discussion based on what you are thinking. So they are just wanting to know if you know about few collections and few data structures, that all, right? Now coming down to associate level, so this can be a fresher level guy or 0 to 1 experienced guy. So they can ask you about your college level projects. If you have internship experience, then what you did there, stuff like that. Then competitive programming, yeah, so they are going to ask you maybe one question or two question based on, let's say, array or string. Let's say they have a question where they want you to put all the zeros from the array to maybe left or to the right. So that can be one kind of a question. Then for string, they can ask you, let's say, hello world, so replace this hello word to word hello, right? So stuff like that you need to know. So if you don't have this kind of exposure, you can start working on HackerRank and LeetCode. They have all sort of question, and you can start from easy level. So for associate level, they are not going to be medium or high difficulty level questions to be asked specifically on Nagarro, right? For database question, you need to know a bit about queries. Let's say join, which join to use at what kind of scenario. Then you need to know a bit about let's say indexing and maybe database management kind of stuff, right? So it is going to be all theoretical again. They are not going to ask you to write down the query. Maybe they will, but again, even if you don't, you need to know theoretical stuff, so maybe they will get satisfied from them, right? So it's all about the interviewer, like what mindset he has. Coming down to 1 to 3 years experienced, so yeah, they are going to ask you about the new features of Java 8, 9, 11, whatever version they are using. But if you know about Java 8 new feature, that suffices their requirement. They even if you were not to tell them about Java 9 and 11, that's good, like that's good. So you need to know about the new features in brief. Even if you don't have the practical exposure, that's okay. You need to know about theoretical stuff. Then interfaces and collections. So there are a lot of changes on interfaces in Java 8, and there are a lot of pros of using interfaces. So they can ask you questions related to design pattern, like in which design pattern you use interfaces, and why interfaces, why not classes. Then questions based on collections, right? So again, this is a favorite topic for every interviewer. So they can ask you questions on, let's say, their favorite collection, so you need to know about that. And then Spring annotations and maybe Spring configuration, and what are the advantages of using Spring Boot, right? So stuff like that. So you need to know theoretical stuff. You need to know about the annotation, like names of the annotations specifically, right? Now coming down to 3 to 5 years experienced. So this is going to be a bit medium level interview. So here the questions are going to be on immutable classes. Let's say how you can create an immutable class, why string is an immutable class, are there any more classes immutable in Java or provided by JDK, exception handling, yes, there are going to be questions based on that. Then new features you need to know in detail. Now, not in brief, that is not going to suffice the requirement. You need to know about Java 8 features in detail, if not 9 or 11. So they can ask you questions on lambda expression, but they will also expect you to have that exposure in practical. So let's say if they ask you how will you write a lambda expression if you have to override or create a new thread. So what you will do, what is the benefit of using lambda expression, right? So that is your first section. Then for interfaces, it is going to get in detail, loose coupling, even they can ask you to write down a design pattern using interfaces. Collections, yeah, they can also ask you to write down an implementation of, like, let's say internal implementation of a collection. Then based on collection, there are going to be a lot of child questions like hash code equals contract among them. And let's say if there is an employee class and you want to store the data of that employee class in a map, so how will you implement hash code and equals method? Then design pattern, that is going to be a must here. So you need to know about one design pattern in each category. So you need to know a bit in detail about that one design pattern in each category. So even if you haven't used that, they are going to ask you, have you ever used a design pattern in your application, and if you have, what design pattern, right? Then Spring Boot, REST, ORM microservices. So this is going to be a big topic. So they are going to ask you about dependency injection, what benefit came in Spring Boot and why Spring Boot. Then about RESTful web services, they are going to ask you, let's say REST controller, mappings question, HTTP request questions. For ORM, they are going to ask you first which ORM tool, and have you ever used a ORM tool, what is the benefit Hibernate provides you if you were to say Hibernate as ORM tool, right? Microservices, it is not going to be in length. So they are going to ask you simple questions based on, let's say, CQRS pattern or any design pattern, why microservices, pros and cons of microservices, stuff like that. So this is going to be a big round of interview. So that is it for 3 to 5 years experience. Now we are at technical round 2. So for freshers and 0 to 1 experienced persons, there is no technical round 2, but for 1 to 3 and 3 to 5 or maybe further experienced person, there are going to be technical round 2. So in this technical round, whatever we have seen here, it is going to be exactly same. There are no new interview round, like interview questions. They are going to ask all about these topics. There is none other than that. The only thing is that they will go really in deep. So if they ask you about immutable classes, if they were to ask you about string class, then they want to know about string pool, heap area, stack area. Then if you were to tell them about these, then they are going to go deep in your Java memory model. So they want to know about garbage collection, they want to know about old generation, new generation, all about that. Then what type of garbage collection have you used, and how will you actually optimize it if in case something is wrong with the memory allocation and deallocation, stuff like that. And then there are going to be questions based on, let's say, if you want to debug a portion of your code which is getting bit problematic, which is that it is taking a lot of heap or memory, so how will you actually find that module and how will you fix it? They can ask you questions based on out of stack exception, out of stack out of bound exception, out of memory exceptions, and like stuff like when do they appear and how will you fix it. For each topic, so this was an example, for each topic they are going to go in depth and they want to know if you have that exposure that they want. So these are going to be the topics, but the difficulty level is now going to be medium to high. So you need to have some kind of basic exposure first, and then you need to know in detail about each and every topic, right? So it's Nagarro interview is not easy, for sure. Like, I'm being really honest here, it's not easy at all. And whatever you have learned, that's good, but you need to have that practical exposure also, because if you don't have that, you will not know about the depth of each basic topic, right? So I'm not discouraging you or anything, I'm just giving you the honest experience that I had. So you need to be very clear about this before you actually go for the interview at Nagarro. So about these, I think this is pretty much clear. Then there is your HR round. So in this round there is going to be nothing in particular. So HR basically asks you stuff like your expectation after 5 years, what you are expecting, and why are you actually looking for a job change if you were working in any organization before. If you are a fresher, then they are just going to ask you like, tell me about yourself. I don't know why do they ask it, but yeah, evidently in every round that is going to be a question. Then they will ask you, if you are an experienced person, if like what is your current salary and expected salary, and what is your notice period, first of all, right? Depending on that, they will ask you bit questions like if you can join Nagarro bit sooner, if your organization has a backout plan or anything. Then everything is going to be sorted. HR round is not basically a rejection round, but if you have a 3 months notice period, I think they will take some time to decide whether they want to wait for 3 months or not, right? I have seen few scenarios where the candidates went with the interview, like the feedback was really good, but still they did not get the offer. So it totally depends on the position, whether it was an immediate one, like it is an urgent opening or not, right? But this is not a rejection round. It is going to be like 90 or 95% you are going to get the offer letter if you have reached till HR round. So I think they take around 3 to 5 days. Maybe I have seen like if you interviewed at Friday, they actually reach you out at Monday also with the offer. But sometimes they take 3 to 5 days to like reach you out with the offer. So you have to be patient about that. And I think this pretty much concludes the video, and I think I have given out whatever information I had with each and every part of the process and rounds conducted at Nagarro. So if you have any questions, you can always reach out to me on the comment section of this video. I will obviously help. So this is it for this video. I hope we will meet in some another video. Till then, have a good day, stay safe, and bye bye.